Hey, what's up, guys? GFXLab, and we're back with another episode of Minecraft. I am just checking out this. I kind of forgot what I was doing. I remember the last thing I remember was I was trying to find one of the NPC villages, but I couldn't find one. So I think for now, I've cooked up some iron. Probably gonna make some tools and stuff like that. Probably gonna try and probably just start up a house and start building instead of trying to figure out, find an NPC village. I think I was just lucky the last time. So while that's cooking up, I guess I can go collect some random stuff. Here's a zombie somewhere. There's something else in here. I feel like Jaws or something is gonna attack me. Anyways, I just got back from watching a movie. Actually, I've been watching a lot of movies recently, and I watched one called 50/50. I love movies like this, and that movie was just amazing. It was about this guy who I don't remember what movie he's from, but he got cancer. And some of you guys, I don't know if any of you guys have had family members that have had cancer, but it's a very, very tough thing to deal with. It is one of the... My mom's had cancer, and she actually fought and got through it. Part of the thing is, like, my mom's very stubborn with taking... she's ultra crazy about taking medications. And she'll go overboard taking medications, and she's just always worried about stuff. And my mom she's fought through so many things, so much adversity, it's crazy. And just for me to think about, something, and I already talked to you guys about about my parents and whatnot. So I'm not going to talk about that too much, but this movie kind of hit me in a soft spot, because that movie is about cancer, something that if you have any person that in your family that's been in that situation, then you realize how serious that is, and the implications that, those having that said to you could meet. And it is and it just reminds you of just how precious life is. And then you start to think about wow, maybe I shouldn't be doing certain things. And in the movie, there's one part where his friend's like a party animal, but I'm not going to tell you guys the entire story, but there was one part that I got to talk to you guys about. And if you don't want to hear any part of the movie, you want to see it for yourself, this is not a major part of the movie. It's just one little thing that surprised me. And his friend's basically like this party animal, and he wouldn't seem like the kind of person that would like go out of their way to be, sweet or kind. But he's a genuine guy. So, well, in his character's a genuine guy. And he's actually like reading his friend is the friend with cancer is actually in his after he gets really drunk and he can't drive. he takes his friend back to his house. The guy with cancer takes his friend, the guy the guy I'm talking about, and he takes his friend home because he's too drunk to drive. And so the guy with cancer goes into his restroom, and he sees a book in there, and that book is like about dealing with about being together in like a relationship, and basically surviving through cancer. It says understanding cancer and how it relates to you and your family or friends. Hold on, I gotta turn this music down a little bit. It's a little loud. There you go. I like the music. It's amazing. But it's just so crazy, like how much it affects everyone around you, how much it affects your family, your friends. and people who wouldn't normally be, I guess, compassionate, or are people who are genuinely not like into the feely stuff of life, they start to show their true colors. And I kind of fit that bill. Like I'm not like a person that will that is too dramatic about, like, or that is too much of a person that you can't really cry on my shoulder. Like, I'm not that kind of person. I'm the type of person that always gets into trouble and and always needs. Here's the deal. Like, I always think of myself as someone who is exceptional at things, and that gets me in trouble a lot, because a lot of times what ends up happening is I overestimate myself, and people I think people overestimate me as a person. And I create this, I don't know, maybe it's just my aura or the way I present myself to people, but I seem to have this presence of dominance, I guess. That's just my interpretation. It's not my the way I look, my appearance. It's mostly like the way I carry myself, the way I talk to people. Oh, now you better get back in the little hut before the sun falls. Oh, grab this piece. And the way I talk to people, the way I go about my business is basic. I'm always on top of things. I'm always like trying to do my best, and I'm always trying to prove that, no one else can really fill my spot or whatever. I mean, I think everyone has that, but I do it in everything I do. That's probably why a lot of people get mad at me for doing certain things or playing certain ways, and it even goes into the gameplay aspect. People say, like, they don't agree with the way that I play the game, because they want to play it in their own way, and I don't want to play. I want to play the game the way I want to play it, and I want to win. I don't really care about anything other than winning the game, because it's a game. You're supposed to win. You're not supposed to be flashy and try and. I guess there's winning in the sense of winning the game, which is what I like doing, and then there's the sense of winning in your own self-accomplishment, your own impressing yourself and showing people what you can do, or what creative things you can do with say, like a sniper rifle. There are some people who enjoy quick scoping, and that's kind of their deal, is like, they do that because they want to impress themselves and their friends, and some of them record and then they want to put it up on YouTube and impress everyone, or impress the people who they look up to. Like, if they like trick, like, I use trick shot analogies because it's tied to my channel a lot, and and to me, I don't really use it, but I just think it's a way that I can convey the message to you guys, or like the idea that I'm trying to present. So don't think that I'm like totally stuck on this idea of a trick shot. It's not a big deal at all. It's just a way for us to talk subjectively about what I'm trying to say. And I'm not sure if I even used the word subjectively correct there. But yeah, we'll just run with it. Whatever. Let me see. I think I need to empty something out. Yeah, I don't need that. All right. I think I have enough wood, so she said. And should probably like go and start. I think I'm just gonna make like a little log cabin for now. But I kind of want to explore. I don't want to settle down. The last time, I guess maybe I'll just make a survivor kit. Like, I'll just make like swords and stuff so I can survive and get, But then I need a house to set all my stuff in. And so I should probably build I have one right here. Little one of these. Let me see. I don't need that. Let me cook some of this meat because it'll help in the long run. And I think I am gonna go and look for some more, some more, like, maybe I'll look for the NPC villages again, cause that'll be a lot. I don't know how you make mushroom stew. I don't remember how you make it, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna be using that at all. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be using mushroom at all. So let me just throw that out. So wasteful, GFX. I'm gonna make some steel, or throw this in here. And I don't think I have anything else to cook. They should make it so that your stuff rottens, like it gets rotten. So that way you can, so you always have to like go out and acquire new stuff. Oh, there we go. Let's make one of those. I'll save that. I'll use these. I'll call these the dirty pickaxes. Actually, should I make 2 of them? Actually, I should probably save that. Let me see. So if I find some redstone, I can make a compass. But I don't even know why I would need a compass yet. Yeah, I already have my sword. Can I make anything? Oh, I think I can make shoes. Yeah, some boots. Have some more iron. Some iron boots. There we go. And eventually I'll get some more armor and stuff. Let me see, is it getting dark yet? I don't think so. But yeah, I was watching that movie and I literally started tearing up because just from my parents, my mom, my dad. My dad never had cancer, but he did have a heart attack, and when he didn't mention it until after he got out of the hospital, and I was just so scared. Like, my dad, I remember when my grandpa died, my dad, he just like cried for, I wasn't there to see him cry, but he told me that he did, like, and he's a pastor, so he'll always have a story to tell. And I just remember when he was at a service. He was doing a service. He was talking to people, doing what he does with his religious stuff. And well, I shouldn't say it like that because it's very important to him. But he was preaching the good word is what he would say. And he was telling the people like how much it hurt him inside for him and his dad, or for him to learn that his dad is gone. And it was just like, just listening to my dad, it was just so crazy. And I was like, man, if that's how it affected him, and he's not as emotional as I can get sometimes, and I'm just like, I don't know how I'm going to just get along, just think about it. And I know I've already gone over that commentary, and I don't really want to go back into that area, I guess. But at the same time, it's just a reoccurring thing, and then you throw out all this bone. I'm not gonna use any of it. It's hopping all over the place. So I was just thinking about that, and and that movie brought up those feelings because, it's just one of those types of movies, touches you, and sometimes some of those movies will take you into some really dark emotional areas that you sometimes don't want to confront, but at the same time, they're there, and they're always in the back of your mind. And you always kind of avoid thinking about them because, no one really wants to be sad. Everyone kind of wants to have a good time. And I was thinking, like, man, a lot of stuff I do in life is just so unnecessary. Like, a lot of the things that I think about, a lot of the emotions I go through are just like, they're just not worth thinking about. They're just not worth dealing with. And I was trying to think about like an idea or something that basically sums up my entire just my general outlook in life. And I think the only thing I could come up with is reason. And a lot of people have reason. A lot of people have reasons for doing what they do. A lot of people have, they're so like caught up in their own like ideas and their own worlds and in the character that they think they are. Like they're so caught up in themselves. And because they're so caught up in themselves, they can't really experience things outside of that. And some people say like that's being open-minded, that's being, humble and whatnot. But it goes beyond that. Imagine if the norm, or if what people normally do was, all right, hold on. There's this story I remember from there's a guy named Jacques Fresco, and he was interviewed one time, and he's a what is it called? He's basically an inventor. He's a person who comes up with solutions for everyday problems, and he's made many tools for doctors, and he's also made this society, and it's a technocracy is basically what it's called, but it's a resource-based economy, and I'm sure most of you guys know what it is, but the basic idea is, came out to be eventually the Zeitgeist movement. And Zeitgeist movement is, if you guys don't know, like look up zeitgeistthemovie.com. It's either zeitgeistthemovie.com or just look up Zeitgeist, Zeitgeist, on Google videos, and you can see that. I think the actual website is called the Zeitgeist, the Zeitgeist movie or the zeitgeistmovement.com. I think the movement is just a forum, but the zeitgeistmovie.com is the actual website for the video. But there's this video. Outside of that, there's a video of an interview of Jacques Fresco, who's the main architect for many of the designs that are going to be implemented if the idea comes to fruition. And one of the things that he talked about was he once went to this island. He once went to this island, and there was some natives there that had never known about a lot of the modern society. They didn't really understand how modern life works, and they didn't know what the social norms are. They didn't know like etiquette, things like that. They didn't really know about a lot of what we would call decency, like not going out into the not going out naked and actually covering yourself up, and these people, they basically lived without clothes on, and they did have clothes, but for the most part, when they were at home and stuff, like they walked around their house like naked, and everyone in the family would just walk around naked. There would be no one would really question why they were doing it, or no one would really care about it. I mean, it was just kind of what they normally do. And another thing is, the main thing that caught my ear was when he was talking about women in the village. And one of the things about that society was that what the men would do is they would if they had, and they would share a lot, basically. And what the men would do is, if they had an amazing woman they were married to, and the woman brought them so much pleasure in life, and what was that? God damn it. get own son. And the woman brought them so much pleasure in life, and the woman was just an amazing person. They would want other people to feel that way as well. So they would share their significant others with other people, and other people that they admired in their own life. And I thought about that. I was like, in our society, that would never happen. That would never happen because people are so. Just think about like all the guys. It's so much of a gesture to think that way, that it's just amazing. Like that, that humans are capable of something that giving. That they would allow another person to essentially share their wife. And I was like, man, and he was talking about it the same way I was, like how those are just like some incredible people. I have a Diet 7-Up I'm drinking right now. I actually like Diet 7-Up. It's pretty good. But just thinking about that, it was just an amazing thought. And I was like, man, in our social norms, that would never fly. Some people just, I mean, there are movies about this too, but I don't know if it happens in no, it does happen in real life, where if a man catches another man in in his wife's bed, he is essentially dead, or the woman is dead, either way. Or if the woman finds the man in, another woman's arms, oh my God, you can say goodbye to his penis. She's gonna rip that shit out. She's gonna grab his, she's gonna go ham on him. And you just think about stuff like that, and you're like, man, and then there's this society that is totally opposite, and their social norms are just immense, is what I would say. Is their sense of love and their sense of compassion is so strong, and they are so set in their, in sharing their gifts, that they'll even share their own wives. And I heard, I think in the last Mindcraft, when I was talking to you guys, I talked about if you want to have a successful relationship, you've got to be strong on your own without somebody else. You can't. If you notice, like there's some women that can't live without another man. Like they can't live without their entire basis for living is trying to find the perfect man. And that's just so sad. It's just such a sad thing for women of our society to think that they're so small and minuscule, and that they think that their existence is so minuscule in life that they can't live without having another man present. And I'm gonna make a boat because I want to travel around and see where there's like a perfect spot to house. And I probably should eat too. Let me see here. I'll just eat this for now. Actually, I'll eat this chicken too. Enough, so there we go. And there are these women that just, they can't live without having another man by their side, and they once they find a man, that's how you make that those mushroom bowls or whatever, mushroom soups. I'll make 2 of these. And and then when they finally find a man, they treat him, they expect him to be like someone who will complete them, which is kind of crazy. But at the same time, that's normal, if you have another person that is in your life that is just as strong as you are, they will complete you, and they will be amazing at at being with you. And it's so crazy to think that some people to think that there's this society out there that has so much compassion. Actually, I'll go down this way over here. That has so much compassion that they're willing to share even their wives with other men, just to give, just to share the experience that they've had in their own lives. And I just think that's amazing. That's just an amazing thing for just humankind in general. I kind of like this area. I might live here for a while. Make a home here on these banks. This is where I was though already. Let me look around a little more. Switch it up. Kind of feel like I'm in that book, The Hatchet. I don't know if you guys have ever read that book, but it's a book about it's a book about this guy who basically I think he survives a plane crash. I don't remember the book exactly. It's a long time ago when I read this book, but there was this guy. He survives a plane crash. He's the only one who survives. It's kind of like that movie Castaway, and he basically he's all right. Let me start it over again. He basically survives, and he has a hatchet that I think his dad gave to him, and he lives out. He survives the plane crash, and then he's in the middle of a forest, and it talks about all the things that he had to learn how to do. He had to learn how to fish. It even talks about some actual like survival advice, which was pretty crazy. Kind of like that spot there. It's kind of cool. Got to find a place before the sun goes down completely. Yeah, I like this area right here. Might just live right here on the beach. There we go. Right here is kind of cool. Let me chop this tree down so I can put a house on this. Put a house here. And I will start. Let me see here. Shovel that. Here I'll start from. I'll just make it a wooden house. And let's see. Let's make it like 10. This is about good. Let's make it a decently sized house. Alright, that's pretty decent. And this guy, so he survives this plane crash, and he has to basically survive out in the wilderness by himself, and he actually does that, and it's amazing. The story is a really amazing story, and he talks about how he had to use this hatchet, which basically saved his life in the book, and just thinking about about that book, it was crazy. I don't remember where I was going with that story, but as I got caught up in building this house, I got to do it before the sun goes down, and it's going down fairly fast. I should have made this a lot smaller, but you know what? If bad guys come, I'll just fend them off. Hopefully no creepers come, and I'm gonna guess that that's gonna be the first thing that comes out of the woodworks. Oh, I was saying that this reminded me of that book. But I remember that very well. It was a great movie, and a great book. It felt like a movie because, have you ever got caught up in a book so much that you just basically are you feel like you are in it, like you're not even reading anymore. I love that feeling. I haven't read a lot of books lately. And that's kind of sad because I used to read a lot of books. I used to love reading books. But now I've been reading a lot more books that are more based on like spirituality. I'm reading a book called The Power of Now. Well, actually, I've already read it, but I just read it over and over and over and over because it's just such a powerful book about just living in general, living in the present, living. It talks about this guy and his struggles. Basically, it's the same struggle as me, is finding yourself and finding, why things are. And one of the main things is like, well, one of the things I have come out from that book, actually, one of the things that I've learned, essentially, like an essential rule of life, is that there's no real meaning to anything. There's no real Cesar Millan says it best. And I love Cesar Millan. Out of all the people books and stuff I've read, Cesar Millan is like the number one person that he's my role model in life, basically. And he says it simply and very easy for people to understand. He says that the world is not complicated. The only thing that makes the world complicated is us. And when when I read that quote, I was like, man, that is exactly what I've been, learning all this whole time, is that I'm complicating my own life. I better close that up while I finish this roof. I don't know if I want to close this up. I guess for now I'll close it up right here. And he basically says, well, that quote has had me like, it reminds me, it brings me back into to the present, is really what it does. It's like how it's described in The Power of Now. And in how a book describes, a presence is not exactly presence itself. I mean, you've got to learn to, spiders. Let me just close it all up. Oh my god. Come at me, bro. And before I close it up, I should probably throw some torches down, so we have light. There we go. All right. And I need to close this off. Clear all this out from my... I've been like looking up Cesar Millan's website for a long time now, like just trying to I've been trying to not contact him, but just like read everything that he posts on there, because he has a blog on his website where he just basically talks about, just random stuff. I'm pretty sure they make him do it just to, for PR reasons. But there's a lot of good messages there from him. He talks about, I should probably turn down the sound so you guys, because that might be a little annoying for you guys. Or the sounds for this. There we go. And he talks about how though there was one video that he posted up, it was about intuition and how animals have intuition and humans don't. And also he talks about how animals have a sense of nature that we don't, or we've lost because, all the social norms that we go through, like I was talking about. And one of the social norms that people have is compassion. Another social norm is people have, they react more than they actually observe. And animals don't do that. Animals, for the most part, they just they are just in the present. They are just listening, observing. Like if you think about like a like a honey badger. I'll use the honey badger because he doesn't give a shit. If you think about like the honey badger, and do you think like he thinks beyond after he kills an animal to eat, like he kills a cobra or whatever he's eating, or he attacks a random wild wolf or whatever he's attacking at the current moment. Do you think that he's actually thinking about how awesome he was, or do you think he's just satisfied that he got something to eat that day? Or do you think that he's even thinking about that? He's probably just asleep, like enjoying himself, being there in the wild. And I was watching this documentary about lions, and there was a lion. They were talking about lions. They showed like this crazy world that the lions live in, but for them, it's their norm. It's just what lions do. And it was just crazy. Like this mother lion, or there was like a lion, a mom lion, and then there was like a lion that was basically the grandma of these cubs, and the grandma ate the cubs, and then like the mom lion finally found out or figured out that that's what the grandma lion was doing, and it went off on that lion. Like it like, what? How did he get in here? How is that possible? I put torches everywhere. How is that possible? I don't know how that's possible. How did he spawn right there? I don't know. But okay, so this lion was going off on this mom lion, and I was just like, man, like that's just so crazy how crazy those lions are. and at the end of the video, the guy on the announcement says, and this world continues without human knowledge. This world continues in the jungle, and no one's there to witness it. These lions just live there, and they do what they do on a normal basis. They fight, and they're ferocious, but in the end, like, that's just what they do, and that's just how they exist. And I was thinking about, like, man, like humans don't have humans are so like caught up on such minuscule things, and we're so like, everything seems to be like so dramatic for us, when really a lot of stuff isn't. I don't get how that thing's still like out there growling. Is it because it's still under that tree? Yeah. He'll die eventually. Come on, come at me, bro. Let's watch him burn. Ah. Oh well. Boats. Catch my boat. I should build a dock for my boat. Alright. Yeah, let's build a dock for the boat. So I can... Oh, and the documentary was like, it said, and this world goes unknown. And I was like, What the hell? God damn it. Fucking. God damn. Fucking creeper. Fucked up my beach. Alright, whatever. And I was thinking about that world, like, man, like, really, those lions just, they live there, and there'll be, like, probably no one would ever know about them if that documentary crew didn't go in there and sort of do research on those lions. Or that story of the mother with the cubs would never have happened. Well, we would never have known about it unless that documentary actually went in and documented like what was going on there. And I'm thinking about, there are places like that too where like in human society where things go on, like in North Korea. There was I was watching this documentary about something called the Gumball Rally, and it's about these rich guys that basically all get on these really expensive cars and they drive out into the middle of, one time it was like driving from, I think it was like New York to Tokyo, and the way they do those is like they'll get on boat rides and stuff like that. So they're not driving out, they're not making these impossible road trips or whatever, but they're basically, what am I building this here? They're basically like out on the road trying to just drive like these huge distances. And one of the stories from that series or from that documentary is from the guys from Jackass. They actually join in on it, and Bam Margera is the guy who they follow around for a little while, and they're in North Korea, and North Korea has never had let many Americans into their actual place. It's the place where Kim Jong-il is from. He runs that place, and they showed Bam Margera was talking about how crazy it is to live there because people there have to do so much for Kim Jong-il. Oh, there's a spider. Come at me, bro. And they have to do so much for Kim Jong-il just to keep him pleased, and it's just part of their social norm. And he was talking about how they are basically living in the 1950s. There's people there that they're all assigned jobs. They're all assigned. It's a communist world, so I better get out of here. Catch some air. There we go. It's a communist country, so they have to listen to absolutely everything that their dictator says, which is Kim Jong-il. And he was describing, he said, in his hotel office or in his hotel, they basically were treated like royalty, but he said the hotel was like one of the shittiest hotels he's ever been in because they don't really have electricity and stuff like that, and there's lights out for the whole country at 6 p.m. Like everyone has to go to bed, and people are all wearing the same clothes because they're all assigned those clothes. You can't, there's no fashion there. So these guys that were going there from the Gumball route, they're all these super rich guys. So what he said they basically looked like Martians because they were all wearing, Bam Margera was wearing all his, crazy stuff that he wears. And then people were walking around with these cell phones, and there was no cell phone service there, so they couldn't really they actually took away their cell phones, is what he said in the documentary, because they don't want people, or they don't want they don't want those guys there. Let alone, they don't want Americans there, let alone having them taking pictures of stuff. But Bam Margera snuck one of his cameras, and then they let the camera guys in, so to document what they were doing, and they could only get certain things that were given rights to, like they could take pictures of a ceremony that they were having, like a huge ceremony, and for Kim Jong Il basically, and they showed like all the people that were there. Basically, like the whole crowd would participate in this huge, massive, like little ceremony, and people were like holding up all these like lights and stuff, and it would just having a good time. And I was just like amazed. It was amazing to see like the whole crowd participate in something like that, because they were all holding like different color signs. And then as Kim Jong Il would walk by and stuff, like they would all change their signs around to like show his face. Like they would all like flip the signs around to make different images. And the whole crowd was doing. There was a lot of people in there, and it was just an amazing sight. And I was just in awe, like looking at that, just looking in that documentary. And I was thinking about like, man, like lights out. Well, the idea of lights out for me was kind of crazy, for, having the whole country goes out, and they're all assigned. You can't go and buy your own food. You're assigned certain types of food. You're assigned certain ways of living. Like there's nobody the rich there. There's nobody poor there. Everyone has an assignment. It's basically an assigned way of living. And here in America, everything is documented. Everyone's watched. There's a patrol out all the time. I mean, there's cameras everywhere. There's cameras watching everything that we do. There are cameras watching everything that goes on with, in people's homes, pretty much. I wouldn't be surprised if there's surveillance of people's minds. I wouldn't be surprised if the government had some sort of way of keeping track of your thoughts. I mean, I would not be surprised at that. In fact, if they don't have that now, then they need to step their game up. They need to step their technology game up, because I'm pretty sure that is possible. And just even though it's just a thought, like just the fact that it can exist means it probably does. I mean, someone has had to have thought of that idea and is researching how to do it, and someone is definitely either working on it or has it done, or they're actually using it. I'd be surprised if they weren't. That's how much I think that that sort of technology exists. Let alone, like, there's a story I heard about in a war story that happens. In the Middle East, they're so religious. They're insanely religious that every day every 3 times a day, they will stop whatever they're doing to pray. And doing that, the people in Iraq, they spend 3 hours a day praying, and then they essentially go back to work and do whatever they're doing. And I saw this movie called 30 Days, or it's the series by the same guy that did what is that movie? He did this movie about McDonald's, but I'm trying to remember it. God damn it! It's a movie about. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. It's a movie about this guy who eats McDonald's 30 or like every day or something, like daily, and then his health like drastically reduces, and then he has to go to the doctor and basically rehabilitate himself. But there's a a show that he's made that documents like living 30 days as, you know, in a different situation, different life situation. And one of the situations was being Arab basically, and living in an Arab country. And at the end of the video, he's like, he actually had an appreciation for that prayer, because that prayer basically, no matter what people are doing, no matter he was having an argument with one of the guys there about, I think he was talking about government and you know, talking politics with other people just is normally not something that you want to do, especially if they're like super religious, or if they're super like if it's part of their everyday culture, everyday life. That it's just not a good idea to actually talk to those people about, you know, changing their ideas or whatever. But he was talking to this guy about his life, about his, you know, how he feels about basically being a slave to the government is what I could make from the conversation. But he didn't say it that mean. He was trying to be as courteous as he could be, and as understanding as he could be. And the guy on the other end was just getting so heated and mad, and he was like, he just couldn't understand why. He had this idea that like all like Westerners are a certain way, and I think a lot of foreign people think that way, like, oh, you Americans, you dirty Americans. You know, I hear it on Xbox Live, so it has to be, I mean, there has to be something behind all that. Not that Xbox Live is like actual life experience at all. I'm just saying, like, I hear it all the time. People are like, you Americans, you don't understand or whatever. And just, the guy was getting so heated, but then like when this prayer came, like they all got quiet and they all like went into their prayer. Like they all like got on their knees and stuff, and they started like praying, and everyone sort of went back to ground zero. And it was just like crazy seeing that. And then he's like, the guy says, I can understand why what's so powerful about this praying, because when we were having this argument, as soon as that time hit, these guys all started praying, and as they started praying, like everyone sort of calmed down. Everyone sort of just went back to being, you know, who they are and doing what they do. There was no hard feelings. Everyone just sort of calmed down, and it sort of brought them back to the, you know, just to reality, basically. And I was thinking about that. I was like, man, what do we do in America that does something like that would empower people to basically, that would empower people like that. But I don't think there's anything that most people do. I mean, a lot of people just sit there and in their state of unhappiness, and they just allow it to grow and grow and grow until they eventually like just basically made themselves so mad that they just can't function normally. Like they can't think clearly, and you know, they just get so mad and get caught up in their ideas, and they get caught up in all this, you know, all this suffering that happens to people, and they don't ever bring themselves back into the present moment. And to me, that's what that does, is like that that prayer is their way of getting back into the present moment. And for me, I've been thinking about ways that I could make myself come back to the present moment. I was looking, and as I read that book, one of the things that Eckhart says in the book is you should have something on you that reminds you to go back to the present. And I was trying to think of a symbol. What's a perfect symbol for me to be reminding myself of going back into the present being, into the presentness of myself. Like what exactly would give me the, that self-empowerment to return to the present moment. And I couldn't think of anything. I couldn't think of a symbol. I couldn't think of an idea that would help me get back into the present moment other than just being. And and the only thing I could think of is like, imagine maybe I could use like maybe I could buy something that I could use as a reminder. It's my little humble abode. I was like, man, what could I use? And I couldn't think of anything, but the only symbol I can think of that would give me some sort of, I guess like some sort of ease to my mind would be something in the shape of a circle or something circular, because to me, being in the present means being balanced. And a circle is infinite. There's no edges. There's no hard edges. It's like totally, it's just entirely there. Like it's just a circle is, there's the circle of life, there's all that stuff. But on a deeper note, it is a sense of balance that I seek, I guess. And that to me that would be my symbol for being in the present moment. And for, just thinking about even Eckhart's ordeal, I would pay so much money to meet Eckhart Tolle or Cesar Millan. Those guys are my heroes, and they'll always be my heroes. And I seriously I actually was on his website I was on Cesar Millan's website to try and see if I could get a job there with him, but he doesn't have any job openings. So I was like, man, I would totally try and live, there. I would definitely quit my career to work for that guy. I mean, it would be an amazing opportunity. I would love that, but he doesn't have any job openings. And I'm sure there are so many people that have said the same thing. Like, man, if I ever had the chance, I would work for him too. I would definitely work for Cesar Millan. That'd be like a dream come true. That'd be, oh man, that'd be amazing. But unfortunately, there's no job openings, and what he says on the website for the advice for people wanting to work for him is, he says go to school and figure out what's the best school for you to be at, and go there and live to whatever you want to be. Like it was just such great advice, and I was thinking about it. I was like, man, just even that basic advice was just like makes me want to be his apprentice even more. And I'm just thinking about it like, man, I wish I could be I could work for Cesar Millan. It'd be amazing. But then again, I was listening to this guy that I told you guys in the last episode, this guy named Osho, and he was saying that you shouldn't get he does his best to make people not attached to him. He does his best to help people basically move away from him and quit he tries to make people like quit relying on him to answer their problems. And I was like, man, like I always am attached to all these, I'm attached to like Cesar Millan and Eckhart, and I expect to read their books, and I expect to learn how to live life that from their perspective, but they're living an entirely different life. They've gone through so much different trials and tribulations that their answers can't be the same as mine. Their answers can't be the same as my answers for the same things. And even you guys listening, if you are listening this far, and if you are, say Tyrannosaurus Rex. But if you are listening this far, I appreciate it, and but don't. I guess I would say, like, don't think that whatever I say on here is actual knowledge for you guys, because you're going to grow up. I mean, some of what I say might be relevant to some of you. Some of you guys might relate, but some of you guys might not know at all what I'm talking about. But I just never want you guys to rely on me to answer any of your questions. I know there's people like Woody's Gamertag who that's kind of his ordeal, is like he answers people's questions based on his experience, and that's all you really can do if you want to be, if you really want to answer and help people who are struggling with certain situations, and you're wise in that area. I mean, you can help people do that, but I need to take a drink of my soda. You can help people with your own situation, especially if it's like something that's related to something very technical, because I can help people like with technical advice. Essentially, like, I can help people with graphic design, and I can help people who want help with who want help with like designing websites and stuff like that. But I can't help people who want help with advice for let's say they want advice for breaking themselves of religion. Now, see, I can give you the way I did it, but it's not going to be the same as the way you're going to have to deal with your own demons, because only you know your demons. And also, another thing that, what's going on? Oh, it's just frozen from trying to sync or whatever. Another thing is something I've learned a while ago, and this is like, excuse me, but something I learned a long time ago. It's like from a quote, and there's this quote that says, if you peer into the abyss, the abyss also peers into you. And I was like, man, what is that? Not what does that mean, but what does that inquire? Like, what is that? How does that apply to me? Like, what is my abyss, and what am I peering into? What am I, because so the idea is, to me at least, the quote means, if you look into say a demon, like the demon that I can use the demon that you saw from my nightmare. If you guys don't know what that is, I had a nightmare a long time ago with my sister, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys have listened to that commentary. But I had a dream one night where there was a demon in my sister's room, and it basically I was sleepwalking, and I walked into my sister's room, and I heard a clicking noise. And this clicking noise was getting louder as I started walking into that room. And as I got into the room, like, I could see it. And it was like sitting there clicking its heels against. And it was just, it was the classic idea of what normal people say is like the idea of a demon or whatever. But it was clicking its heels like on my sister's bed. And it was just sitting there like smiling. Well, it wasn't smiling, actually. It was just like sitting there like staring at me as I walked in, actually. And I got so afraid. And I was a little kid. And I was religious at that time, so I was just so afraid of, for my sister and whatnot. And it was just crazy. Like, I was crying and stuff. Like, I ran into my dad's room. Oh, goddamn, girl, you got a fat ass. And I ran into my dad's room, and I was like, Dad, there's a demon, like in my sister's room, and it was all around. And this was before I really even knew about alcohol, and my sister was heavily addicted to alcohol at that time, and she was like, my dad is like, yeah, your sister was drinking a lot last night. Maybe it's possible that maybe that's what caused your dream. And my dad's religious, so that his reasoning was basically, it was some sort of superstitious way of me trying to handle the situation or whatever that I was put in. And I was like, to this day, I don't know why I had that dream or why that episode happened. It's always going to be in my mind. Like, what was that? Why did that happen? Why was that? Why did I experience something like that? Why would something like that come to me? Like, is it something that knew about my future? Maybe it knew what it was, knew that I was going to do something in the future with alcohol and stuff like that. Or could it be that maybe it was just something that the whole religion sort of aspect of my life brought on to me? Because you have to remember that there's a yin to the yang, for everything good in your life and for all your faith, you're going to have some demons. So that to me was my abyss. My abyss was actual religion itself. And religion caused its own abyss. It caused a demon to come to me, essentially, because I was so caught up in that mindset that it dragged me into the lowest, into hell, basically, is what I would like to say, is that religion dragged me into hell and I came back. There's a really great quote by Joe Budden. I don't know if it's a quote from him, but I saw it on his Twitter. He says, religion is for people that don't want to go to hell. Spirituality is for people who've been to hell and back. And I can totally relate with that, because I've gone through my abyss. I've stared my abyss in the face, and it was not fun at all, and it still haunts me to this day. But I've learned from it. And it was one of my life lessons for myself, not for anyone else, not for you guys, not necessarily for you guys. Maybe for some of you it might be, but I just know that I never want to be in that situation ever again. It was just too much. It was crazy. The idea that something like that could exist and that I would be dragged into that just scared the hell out of me. And I've never been able to get over it. But after living through it, I'm a lot stronger than I would be if I had not faced something like that. Had I not seen, something that was just that crazy. And some people won't understand. They won't understand, like, my they won't understand, like, my story, because, or maybe they'll think it's just a funny little dream or whatever, but they've never been to hell. Or maybe they've been to a different hell and they can't relate because their hell was different. But either way, it was a hell. It was an abyss. And when you think about, like, the abyss that when you think about the abyss that is described in the Bible and the abyss that's described in all these, these religious books, and they show, like, on TV, like they show all these movies, like In Hell, and all these crazy movies that talk about hell. There's no describing hell. There's no describing the abyss unless you go there yourself. And like I said, the only way I could have ever gotten to that point is being unbalanced. And being unbalanced was not being spiritual, but being religious. Was being caught up in the ideas that were forced, I basically got indoctrinated into. The ideas that I was indoctrinated into, and since I was indoctrinated into those ideas, there was nothing I could do about it. Really, there was nothing I could really. I couldn't tell my dad that he was crazy when I was a kid, because I was just a kid. I needed food. I needed stuff like that. I needed clothes. I needed things. I was a kid. So as much as I despised being religious and having that in my life, it also gave me a lot of tools, a lot of things to use in the future. As I ran into certain situations. And being that that's the case, I kind of accept it. I kind of accept the fact that at one point I was religious, and there's nothing that I can say or do or to change the fact that at some point I was that that was a. Oh, I should probably make a chest so I can store some stuff in there. Oh. But there's nothing I can do to change the fact that I was I was indoctrinated into that stuff, or there's nothing. Oh, god damn it, it's lagging again. It's got to create another file. Man, this is gonna be a long one. So she said. Oh, let me just make 4 of these. Let's see. Okay. Sweet. All right. Let me get these chests. I'll just make 2 of these, so put it on this side. There we go. Let's throw these in here. Da-da-da-da. Bone. I'll keep all the steak. I'll keep the chicken and the chops. Let me see. Planks. I'll keep a set in here just in case I die. I can have some tools. Let me see. I'll keep that. Yep. Throw that in there. And yeah, I don't think I'll need that wood yet. Yeah, I've just been thinking about a lot of things. Put that gunpowder in there. Wool. What else is there that I don't need? I'll keep the dirt. I might need it. String. Actually, I'll keep the wood because I might have to make some torches. Let's throw that in there. Okay, and the rotten flesh. I'll need that. Door. Okay. We're all good. I should probably put a door on this side too, like a back door. Yep. Ooh, don't enter my back door. It's so gay. Let's see. Where's my door at? Oh man, I don't know if you guys saw, but DMX made a comeback. I was like, there was tears in my eye. Let's just say there was tears in my eye when I saw DMX hit that stage. I was like, we're saved. We are saved. Hip hop is saved. Welcome back, hip hop. Thank God DMX is back. I don't know though, a lot of old rappers don't have the same they don't have the same persona that they used to. They don't have the same presence that they used to. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me, but DMX is different though. DMX is just a beast. Like, you just can't stop him. He's just a monster at what he does. So I can't wait to see what he comes up with in the future. He's back and he's gonna do work. I'm just telling you guys. DMX is one of the greatest rappers that ever existed. Get out of here, sister. No, Rachel. Would be pretty awesome if I could find... Actually, what I should do is probably create like a tower or something so I can find this place again, but it's kind of risky. I'll find it. It's right on the beach. I mean, it's not like I won't ever find it again. Gotta scratch my arm. Oh, man. Let me see what else I can do. I built my house. I built all this stuff, and let me see, what do I got? I need to get some more armor. So let's get some armor. Let me see, wool. What kind of armor can I need to get some oh, I should put that glass in there too. Yeah. Put this glass in here. Let me see. Might as well take this sword. Well, yeah, I'll take this sword. Just so I can find some armor. Need the cobblestone yet. Keep that. I need some... How many torches do I got? 45? That should be enough. The sun going down? Not really. Let me see here. What do we... I hope that I actually come back to that, or that becomes my spawn, because I'm gonna go searching. I should probably just build like a mine and just dig down instead of actually going out to find a cave. Oh man, wow! I didn't even have to go far. I just found it all right here. Amazing. I don't know how much armor or how much pieces of iron you need for armor. Let's see. But yeah, I think this is a good spot to end the Minecraft. I know you guys like these the longer uploads. I was thinking about doing shorter ones. I was thinking about doing like montages, like small montages, basically, of like certain areas where I get like funny reactions and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just like talking to you guys, and I like making these videos because I just like doing it. And there's a lot of people who wonder why I don't get a lot of views on these videos, and it's because I can make videos that get a lot of views. That's easy. Just like some artists can make songs that get a lot of attention on, that get like awards and stuff. People can do it. I can do it. But I wouldn't have as much fun. And I always want to do what I want to do. I don't want to... I know it is fun to get views, and it is fun to get people to say like, "Oh, you're so amazing at what you do," and it is fun to have that. But at the same time, like, I have fun doing remixes, which is what I'm most known for. I have fun doing that, but lately I've just been feeling like not like doing it. I've been feeling like doing these long episodes and doing songs. So I appreciate you guys checking out these videos because I know you guys, I know how you feel about, your favorite commentators, talking and getting to know them and getting to pick their brains. And you guys are picking my brains pretty much. No homo. But you guys are I definitely appreciate, or I welcome you guys to my brains. And I'm pretty sure that, it's all going to work out in the end. I make these videos just because, not for views, but I make them because you guys, I think you guys like watching them. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be listening right now. And some people are like, why don't you get as many views as this guy, or why don't you like make more of these types of videos so that you can get the views you deserve? Well, to be honest, there is no views to be deserved. People view videos that they enjoy. People view videos that are entertaining. And for me, this is entertaining to me. If you guys enjoy it, then I appreciate it, and I appreciate the support you give. If you're, and I appreciate just you guys just watching. I don't really care if you guys like or favorite or comment or anything like that. I just appreciate that you guys listen and you guys hear me out, because not a lot of people will listen to me. Especially there are some people that just would not understand, they don't understand, and all they do is criticize. And some people say they're haters. I don't think of them as haters. I just think of them as people who misunderstand me. It's kind of like how the story earlier about the village people that walk around naked and they share their wives. Like, people who come outside of of the world, like say a religious person or the Westboro Baptist Church comes into a society like that. Imagine how they're going to react. It's the same thing. They're going to be like, wow, you guys are crazy. You're messing up, you're messing up your youth. You're messing up people and the minds. And if you do that, you're going to get AIDS and all this. And these village people are like, what are you talking about? So just thinking about that. I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, whatever you guys are doing right now. I know a lot of you guys say that you guys play Minecraft and other games while you're listening to me blabber on in these commentaries, and it's fun. It's been fun playing games with you guys, and I hope you guys have an epic night, day, or whatever it is, and have an amazing day. Peace out. God damn, girl, you got a fat ass.
Hey, instead of sitting here spanking the monkey, why don't you go ahead and like my boy GFXLab on Facebook? www.facebook.com/GFXLab. Thank you.